Hey everyone, Jonathan and Molly here, and welcome back to Savoring the Magic, where we believe there is magic in the details.
That's right. So today we are in Hollywood Studios and we're actually taking you guys to eat at the Hollywood Brown Derby with us because if we're going to talk a very highly themed restaurant that is like a blast from the past, then it has to be this one. So come along with us on this excursion. So the Hollywood Brown Derby was a truly iconic location and clearly connected to the legacy of the film industry. The original was located on Wilshire Boulevard in Hollywood and was an example of California crazy architecture. It opened in 1926 and it's in its novelty form of a brown derby hat, which was reportedly inspired by the hat worn by 1928 Democratic presidential nominee Al Smith. It was an instant success, so plans were made to open a second restaurant nearby. That second location opened up the street near the corner of Hollywood and Vine in a Spanish colonial style. It immediately became a hub for the social activity of the movie crowd from the growing film industry. Celebrities and studio executives frequented the place, which quickly became known for covering its walls with caricatures depicting all the famous faces that came to the restaurant.
The Brown Derby is known for several signature dishes, which are always offered on the menu at Hollywood Studios. The Cobb salad, according to legend, was invented one night when Brown Derby owner Robert Cobb went into the kitchen to pull together a late-night snack for Chinese theater owner Sid Grauman, who was supposedly suffering from some dental work done earlier that day. The finely chopped mix hit the spot to such a degree that Mr. Grauman and others began requesting it. Another legend holds that the Shirley Temple beverage was created at the Brown Derby so that the underage Scarlet would be able to have her own special drink.
An additional location was opened further down Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills and on Los Feliz Boulevard, but the Hollywood location was the most closely linked to celebrity clientele. While the restaurant wasn't built in the shape of a hat like the original Brown Derby on Wilshire Boulevard that was built in 1926, the Spanish Mission style exterior pays homage to North Vine Street Brown Derby location, which was built in 1928. The upscale interior, however, with its dark wood paneling and the iron and glass chandeliers, more closely resembles the original location. And of course, the derby-shaped sign on top of the restaurant honors both locations, each of which featured an identical sign. It should be noted that whenever we were walking around Universal Studios recently, we noticed that they had the Hollywood Brown Derby hat shop. And because it was shaped like a hat, we had to put it in because it very much resembles the original location. So much like the original, we have caricatures of celebrities lining the walls, very much like the originals that were drawn by Jack Lane, of course, over nearly 40 years ago. However, it should be noted that the ones in the black frames are reproductions, but the ones in the gold frames are from the original Brown Derby. Our understanding is that it's actually a licensed Brown Derby restaurant here that was negotiated before the original burned down in 1987, which is how we're able to have some of the original artwork here in Hollywood Studios. Of course, it's not just caricatures that you find in the gold frames. There's also photos from the original Brown Derby and from some of the other locations as well that line the walls. Be sure to enjoy them all. They're found in the lobby and generally throughout the restaurant. Also, don't miss out on the guest book in the lobby. It's always kind of on someone's different page, depending on who has been here most recently. Whenever we were here, it was Darren Chris, who came in late 2021 and came back in November of 2023. Also, some more fun details in the dining room. Should be noted that the rounded booths are supposedly exact replicas of the original booths. Of course, the original Hollywood Brown Derby was home to dozens of Hollywood rumors and stories, including Clark Gable's proposal to Carol Lombard. That was in booth 5. A booth 5 does exist at our location. You can actually ask to be seated at it. And then, of course, you have like Lucille Ball's dinner roll food fight. I mean, there are just a whole bunch of these stories, guys. Of course, don't miss out on the tiny Brown Derby lampshades. These are so fantastic. And of course, there's the bamboo room. If you're lucky enough to dine in there, it is a much smaller space, granted, than the rest of the dining area in the restaurant. But it has a cool origin. In the original Hollywood Brown Derby, the bamboo room was used as a VIP space. So, of course, ours added it in 2003. It isn't an exact replica, but it is designed around a bamboo motif and is used for special occasions. In fact, whenever they did the Lunch with an Imagineer program, that's where guests would dine and converse with Imagineers.
So one fun fact about the Brown Derby restaurant here in Walt Disney World It's actually the restaurant that Bob Iger and George Lucas met to discuss the possible merger of Lucasfilm. So there's a look at the menu. Molly went with the
Filet. Our server totally convinced me of it.
it's true. And then I went with the halibut. We also got a thing of the crab louis and the Brussels sprouts.
That's right. So the thing that like they're known for is the famous Cobb salad, right? Because of the whole story, which we'll go into in a second. However, all this other stuff looks so good that we will not be getting the Cobb salad. The other thing they're known for is the grapefruit cake, which we have had before. We're probably not going to get it today because we're getting a lot of savory stuff and they're going to be very full, and we know that. But if we see it walk by with anyone, we'll catch it on camera. Don't worry. It is really good though.
Yeah, it is good.
And then the fresh bread.
It's the good stuff right there.
Ugh.
Oh yeah.
Medium rare perfection. That's what that is.
All right, so we shot some footage while we were in the restaurant, but obviously there was a lot of people, and try to do it where you can hear us a little bit better.
Yeah, it can get a little difficult. It was really quiet when we first got in there because we were like, I think the first people seated actually because they had an earlier reservation. Yeah. But then it quickly filled in and it got very loud, and we were like, yeah, let's just do this kind of after the fact. Yeah.
So we had I think we showed it already, but we got the crab louis appetizer and the Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, which the Brussels sprouts are an enhancement.
Right.
There's like 3 different ones on the menu. There's a spoon bread, and then there's a shrimp mac and cheese.
Yeah.
And what was really nice is our waitress asked us if we'd rather have it as an appetizer or something come with our main meal. And so we had it as appetizer, which was perfect.
Yeah.
Those Brussels sprouts are always good. We've
Super
definitely
good.
had them before, so disclaimer.
Yeah. Highly recommend those.
Yes.
And then you had the filet mignon.
Oh, we didn't talk about the crab louis yet either.
Oh, excuse me. I'm jumping the gun. It was very good.
It was.
Fresh crab.
Jonathan, it didn't have it on the menu, but part of it had like an avocado layer, which I really enjoyed. Poor Jonathan. He's just not an avocado person.
I try, but it's a texture thing for me.
I like scraped off all the avocado and I ate it with my stuff, and it was fantastic, by the way. They definitely had mixed in lime. It was very citrusy. It had a
Very
good
fresh.
taste to it. And mixed in with the crab. It was nice.
Yeah.
The olive bread that came with that.
Super good.
Oh, so good. So good. So can definitely recommend that as an appetizer.
Yep.
Although we saw someone's oyster and brie soup, and oh my goodness, it looked
so good. Yeah.
so good. Unfortunately, there was no room for that today.
No, and I was gonna have enough cream sauce in my entree.
That's true. That's true. But man, did it look good.
It was, yeah.
Which, shout out to our server, Brianna, who was amazing.
Excellent.
And actually, I walked in there thinking I already knew what I was going to get. I was going to get a sustainable fish, which ended up being grilled swordfish today. Very tempting. And then she was telling us about the filet.
Yeah.
And just how like that was her highest recommended thing on the menu. So that's why I ended up getting medium rare, because yes, I'm one of those people. And it came with like a cheesy risotto, mushrooms, black garlic, the best sauteed spinach I've ever had in my life. I don't know. And oh my goodness, it was so good. In fact, we kept joking that if we had to pick which entree we enjoyed more, we actually couldn't do it.
No, we sampled each other's. It was.
Yeah, we kind of ended up splitting them unintentionally, but they were both so good. And then yours, you can talk about yours.
Yeah, I had the pan grilled, either pan fried, whatever it was, halibut. Just super fresh, very good. It had scallops and mussels and kind of like a seafood cream sauce.
You had some potatoes as well.
Fingerling potatoes.
Jonathan was dipping the bread in the sauce after.
So incredible. Could not recommend it more. Probably one of my favorite things I've had there, to be honest.
Yeah, and I'm going to say that's probably some of the best steak I've had on Disney property.
Yeah.
Which she said that, and in my mind I was like, okay. Just because I have had some really good entrees before, but I would say that particular version and everything that came with it, that actually rivaled like California Grill for me, which was probably until today the best Disney steak I had had.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it was
highly recommend.
So good.
I think it's one of my favorite places on property.
Yeah, it is. And it's not just the food. It's also Honestly, as two people who really do enjoy Burbank and kind of being out in Los Angeles and old Hollywood and all that kind of stuff, it does feel like you're stepping back into time.
It does.
And everything in the Spanish style and just the coloring with the deep burgundies and the dark woods in contrast to that cream,
Yeah.
it does scream California, and it's in the best way possible. It's so lovely just to sit inside and look at everything.
Yeah. Always good service too.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite places.
And if you are, I'm gonna get a dessert. Sorry, the wind is still going on. Do recommend the grapefruit cake as something that's unique to the restaurant, and it was good the time that we got it. I assume it's still
sweet.
good.
It is super sweet. So.
Yeah, but then it's also grapefruit, so you kind of have that strange aftertaste. I don't know how else to describe it, guys. I'm not actually a big grapefruit person, but I do like that cake.
It's
so
a good dessert, for sure.
it's iconic anyway, at the least.
It is. So, have you eaten at the Hollywood Derby before? Let us know what your favorite entree is.
That's right.
If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if we should dive into more of these topics.
Yes.
We have videos coming out every week. So, until next time,
Keep savoring the magic.